Let's cut the fluff. You want to win. You want to be successful. You want money, health, power, peace, freedom. Then stop wasting time. Seriously, stop wasting your damn time. You think you're grinding because you watched a few motivational videos? Because you wrote down a to-do list? Because you stayed busy all day scrolling on your phone? That's not work. That's a performance. Let me tell you something. The number one habit that's murdering your productivity is procrastination disguised as planning. Yeah, I said it. You're not strategizing. You're stalling. You're not resting. You're escaping. You're not researching. You're running from execution. You want results, then stop talking, start doing. You don't need more information. You need more discipline. You don't need better motivation. You need better execution. You don't need another reset on Monday. You need to wake up tomorrow and go all in. Success isn't complicated. Show up, shut up, do the damn work. Every single day you waste watching, thinking, preparing. You're feeding the version of you that loses. Kill that version, starve it, build the version that wins. The version that doesn't hit snooze, the version that doesn't feel like it, but still shows up like a machine. That's how success happens. Not overnight, not by luck, but by ruthless consistency. You don't have time to waste. You're not too young, you're not too old, you're not too late. The only thing between where you are and where you want to be is what you do with your next hour. So here's your choice. Keep scrolling. Or get to work, because time's not waiting on you, and the world, it doesn't owe you a damn thing. Procrastination disguised as planning is the number one productivity killer. It's sneaky. It wears a mask. It makes you feel like you're doing something valuable when you're actually just standing still. You sit there making lists, you color, code your calendar, you read 10 books, watch 5 videos, take 2 courses, all in the name of getting ready. But what are you really doing? You're hiding. You're avoiding the discomfort of action by convincing yourself that you're preparing for it. Let's be real. Most of the time, you're not planning. You're procrastinating with style. You tell yourself you need more information before you begin. You say you're not quite ready to start. But here's the truth: 99% of the time, that's just fear talking. Fear of failing. Fear of looking stupid. Fear of doing it wrong. So instead of moving forward, you sit there, paralyzed by perfectionism. And perfectionism, that's just procrastination wearing a suit and tie. You're not aiming for excellence. You're delaying execution. You're wasting hours, days, even years trying to design the perfect plan, while someone else with half your talent is out there actually doing the work. They're making mistakes, learning from them, getting better, moving forward. Meanwhile, you're still sitting on draft number 7 of your blueprint. You don't need a better plan. You need to pull the trigger. Planning should take minutes, not months, because action is where clarity lives. You don't figure things out by thinking. You figure them out by doing. Your job isn't to create the perfect path. It's to take the next step, even if it's messy, even if it's scary, even if you don't know exactly where it's going. You'll learn more from 1 hour of real effort than 10 hours of preparation. You'll gain more confidence from trying and failing than from sitting and waiting. Because real growth, real progress, it doesn't come from a notebook. It comes from movement. Every time you choose to plan instead of act, you're reinforcing a habit of hesitation. And hesitation is the enemy of momentum. So stop waiting to feel ready. Stop pretending that one more outline will suddenly unlock your success. Stop worshiping the idea of preparation when what you need is action. You already know what needs to be done. You just need to do it. Being busy doesn't mean being productive, but that's the lie most people tell themselves. They fill their day with noise, emails, meetings, errands, texts, and then call it work. They move fast, they talk fast, they look like they're grinding, but at the end of the day, nothing meaningful moved forward. They were busy, but they weren't productive, and there's a big difference. Busy is reactive, productive is intentional. Busy means you're spinning your wheels, productive means you're getting somewhere. You can spend 10 hours answering emails and organizing your desk and still be in the exact same place you were yesterday. But if you spend one focused hour working on what actually matters, your goals, your mission, your progress, you're ahead. Busyness is often just a distraction in disguise. It gives you a false sense of accomplishment. It tricks your brain into thinking you're doing something valuable. But deep down, you know the truth. You're avoiding the real work, the hard work, the work that actually moves the needle, the work that demands focus, courage, and effort. That's the difference between being busy and being productive. Productive people don't chase tasks. They chase results. They don't say yes to everything. They protect their time. They prioritize what matters and let the rest fall away. Busy people, they're addicted to activity. They confuse motion with progress. They check boxes on to-do lists filled with low-impact items because it feels good, because it's easier than tackling what really counts. But being productive requires discipline. It means saying no to distractions. It means doing deep work without checking your phone every 5 minutes. It means knowing your priorities and attacking them like your future depends on it, because it does. You weren't put here to be a professional box checker. You weren't meant to live in a loop of endless tasks with zero growth. You were meant to create, to build, to lead, to rise. That doesn't happen by staying busy. That happens when you slow down, zoom in, and do the work that actually matters, the uncomfortable stuff, the focused stuff, the stuff that forces you to grow. If you want to change your life, stop measuring your day by how full your calendar is. Start measuring it by what you actually accomplished. Did you move closer to your goals? Did you solve a real problem? Did you get better? Because when you stop confusing being busy with being productive, that's when everything starts to change. Action is greater than information. Execution matters more than ideas. Everyone has ideas. Ideas are easy. They're everywhere. You think of something smart in the shower. You get inspired while watching a video. You write it down in a notebook and tell yourself, this could be big. But here's the truth, asterisk, asterisk, nobody cares, asterisk, asterisk, about your ideas until you do something with them. Ideas don't change the world, asterisk, asterisk, action does. Asterisk, asterisk, information is just potential. Execution is what turns that potential into results. You can read every book, watch every course, listen to every podcast. But if you don't apply it, it means nothing. You're just stockpiling knowledge and calling it progress. But learning without doing is just another form of procrastination. You're not becoming smarter. You're becoming more afraid to start. Because now the stakes feel higher. You know so much, but still haven't done anything. And that's a dangerous trap. You convince yourself you need one more piece of information before you act. You lie to yourself that you're not ready yet. But guess what? You'll never feel ready. Clarity doesn't come before the action. Clarity comes asterisk from asterisk the action. You learn by doing. You grow by failing. You figure it out by trying, adjusting, and pushing forward. That's the only path to mastery. Ideas don't build businesses. Execution does. Information doesn't change bodies. Showing up to the gym every day does. Reading about mindset doesn't rewire your brain. Practicing discipline every day does. This is what separates winners from dreamers. Winners don't wait for permission. They don't get stuck in research mode. They don't overthink every detail. They act, even if it's messy, even if it's imperfect, even if they don't have all the answers yet. Because movement creates momentum, and momentum creates progress. It doesn't matter how brilliant your plan is if you never take the first step. It doesn't matter how inspired you feel if you don't follow through. All that matters is what you do, what you build, what you finish. The world rewards execution, not intention. So stop sitting on your ideas like they're gold. They're not gold until you make them real, until you test them, prove them, refine them. You want to win, then move. Do something today, even if it's small, even if it's scary, because action beats information, and execution always beats good intentions. Motivation is short-term. Discipline is what sustains success. Motivation feels good, it's loud, it's exciting, it makes you want to move. You hear a powerful quote. You watch a hype video, you feel unstoppable for a moment, but motivation fades, it's like a spark. Quick, bright, and gone. You can't build a future on a spark, because the days will come when you don't feel like it, when the alarm goes off and your body screams to stay in bed, when the work gets boring, hard, repetitive. When no one's watching and no one's cheering you on, what carries you through those moments isn't motivation, it's discipline. Discipline is showing up regardless of how you feel. Discipline is doing the work when it's the last thing you want to do. Discipline is making a promise to yourself and keeping it, even when it's inconvenient, even when it's uncomfortable, even when the world is offering you every excuse not to. Motivation might get you started, but discipline is what keeps you going. Motivation might get you to the gym. Discipline keeps you there when the novelty wears off. Motivation might get you to open that book. Discipline gets you to finish it and apply what you learn. Motivation is an emotion. Discipline is a decision, and decisions beat emotions every time. Success doesn't come from doing the work when it's easy. It comes from doing it when it's hard, when it's quiet, when no one's clapping. That's where the winners are made. The truth is, no one stays motivated all the time. Not the best athletes, not the most successful entrepreneurs, not the high performers you look up to. They don't rely on motivation. They rely on systems, habits, structure, discipline. They don't ask, do I feel like it? They ask, what needs to be done? And they do it day after day, week after week. That's how progress is built. That's how empires are built, not by hype, not by inspiration, but by doing the work, especially when it's hard to. Because in the end, your success will be defined by how often you act without needing to be in the mood. Your results are tied to your level of discipline. The more consistent you are, the more unstoppable you become. So enjoy motivation when it comes. Let it light the fire, but don't depend on it to keep it burning. That job belongs to discipline. Stop waiting for perfect timing. Start now, because perfect timing doesn't exist. It's a myth, a trap, a convenient excuse dressed up as logic. You keep telling yourself, I'll start when I'm ready, when I have more money, when I have more time. When the stress dies down, when life settles. But life never settles. Time doesn't suddenly appear. The stress doesn't vanish, and you don't magically become more prepared by sitting still. The truth is, the longer you wait, the more you convince yourself to keep waiting. You build the habit of hesitation. You build a mindset that says, later is better. But later becomes never, and nothing changes. You want to start a business. Start with what you have. You want to get in shape. Start with what you can do today. You want to build a better life. Start moving right now, because momentum matters more than the moment. Action beats the illusion of readiness every single time. Every winner you admire didn't wait for the stars to align. They didn't have a perfect plan. They didn't have all the resources or all the answers, but they started. They took the first step, and then the second, and then they kept going. They figured it out as they went. You don't need to know every move. You don't need the perfect strategy. You just need to do something that moves you forward, even if it's small, even if it's messy, even if it's uncomfortable, because action creates clarity. You learn faster by doing than by thinking. You grow faster by failing forward than by standing still. Every second you wait for the right time is a second you could have spent building skills. Building experience, building confidence, building results. The perfect time isn't coming. You make it perfect by deciding that now is enough. Now is the time, right now, not tomorrow, not next Monday. Not when the timing feels right. Now is when your life changes. If you want to be great, stop waiting for permission. Stop waiting for comfort. Stop waiting for everything to feel safe and easy. Because greatness doesn't wait. Success doesn't wait, and life keeps moving, with or without you. You either jump in or get left behind, so stop waiting for perfect timing. Start where you are. Use what you have. Do what you can. Right now, every excuse you make is a step backward. It might feel harmless in the moment, but it's not. It's a decision to stay where you are instead of moving forward. It's a quiet agreement with your weakness. Every time you say, "I don't have time," you take a step away from discipline. Every time you say, "I'm too tired," you take a step away from growth. Every time you say, "Maybe later," you take a step away from your goals. Excuses are lies we tell ourselves to avoid discomfort. They sound logical, they sound reasonable, but underneath it all, they are just fear in disguise, fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of change. You dress it up with smart words, convincing stories, and just enough truth to make it believable. But it's still a lie, and it's stealing your potential, one excuse at a time. You can either build your future or build your excuse list. You don't get to do both, because every excuse becomes a pattern. Skip the workout today, and it becomes easier to skip it tomorrow. Put off the task today, and procrastination becomes your default. Blame someone else today, and accountability slips further away. Every time you excuse yourself from effort, you train your brain to seek the easy way out. And over time, those little steps backward add up. They turn into miles. They create a gap between where you are and where you could have been. Excuses don't protect you. They limit you. They keep you from becoming who you were meant to be. The truth is, there's always a reason to quit. There's always a way to justify laziness. There's always an easy out if you want one. But champions don't take the easy way. They face the discomfort. They take ownership. They say, "Yes, it's hard. Yes, it's inconvenient, but I'm doing it anyway." That's power. That's strength. That's what builds real results. Because every excuse you don't make is a step forward. It's a vote for the stronger version of you. It's a choice to rise instead of retreat. The next time you feel that excuse creeping in, stop. Catch it. Challenge it. Replace it with action. You don't need the perfect conditions. You don't need more time. You don't need anyone's approval. You just need to take responsibility, own your choices, own your results, and stop giving your power away to excuses. There's no shortcut, only consistency and hard work. That's the truth no one wants to hear. Everyone's looking for the hack, the secret, the fast track to success. But it doesn't exist. You can't trick your way to greatness. You can't skip the process and still expect the prize. Success demands effort. It demands time. It demands sacrifice. You can't cheat your way around that. You want results, then show up every single day, even when you're tired, even when you're bored, even when no one's watching. That's consistency. That's what builds real momentum. It's not about how hard you go once in a while. It's about how committed you are when it's no longer exciting, when the motivation fades, when the novelty wears off, when the grind starts to feel like a grind. That's when it counts, because that's where most people quit. They start fast, burn bright, and then disappear when it gets hard. But not you, not if you want to win. If you want to build something that lasts, you have to be willing to do the work, over and over and over again. Not for a week, not for a month, but until the job is done, and then longer, because the best don't stop when they hit the goal. They keep pushing, they keep sharpening, they stay hungry. Consistency is the secret everyone's ignoring because it's not flashy. It's not glamorous, it doesn't look good on social media, but it works. It's waking up early even when you're exhausted. It's practicing the basics when no one's clapping. It's putting in the reps when you don't feel like it. It's staying locked in when distractions are everywhere, and it's doing that over and over again until the results speak for themselves. Hard work isn't a phase, it's a lifestyle. It's what separates winners from wishers. Because anyone can want it, anyone can talk about it, but only a few are willing to earn it. Only a few will embrace the grind, the setbacks, the delays, the pain, and those few, they get everything. Not because they're lucky, not because they're gifted, but because they outworked everyone else. So if you're serious about your goals, forget shortcuts, forget quick wins, forget easy, lean into the hard. Show up with discipline, keep stacking days, and let your consistency do the talking. You're not stuck. You're just not moving. It feels like you're trapped, like the walls are closing in, like nothing's working no matter how hard you try. But be honest with yourself. Are you actually trying? Or just thinking about trying? Are you actually putting in the work? Or just planning, talking, and waiting? You feel stuck not because you have no options. You feel stuck because you've stopped making decisions. You've stopped moving forward. You've paused. You've hesitated. You've convinced yourself that staying still is safer than taking a step in the wrong direction. But nothing is more dangerous than standing still, because when you stop moving, the world keeps spinning, time keeps ticking, and slowly you fall behind, not because you're broken, not because you're weak, but because you're waiting for clarity instead of creating it. Movement is what creates clarity. Action is what builds momentum. Progress doesn't come from overthinking. It comes from doing. You don't need a master plan to start. You just need to take the first step. That tiny step is enough to break the illusion of being stuck. Because the moment you move, things begin to shift. New ideas come. New paths appear. New energy flows in. But none of that happens if you keep sitting in the same place, waiting, hoping, wishing. You are not stuck. You're just scared to move, scared of failure, scared of judgment, scared of discomfort, and that's okay. But fear isn't a reason to stay where you are. It's a reason to move faster. Because the longer you let fear win, the deeper your rut becomes. You start to believe the lie that you're trapped, that your situation is permanent. That change isn't possible, but it is. Everything can change. You can change. The only thing standing in the way is your refusal to take action. So stop telling yourself you're stuck. Start asking yourself, what's the next move? Not the perfect move, not the big move, just the next one. One call, one email, one workout, one step. Because once you move even a little, the weight starts to lift. The fog starts to clear. The power returns. You remember who you are. You remember what you're capable of. And suddenly, that feeling of being stuck, it fades, because it was never real to begin with. It was just a story you told yourself in a moment of hesitation. A story you have the power to rewrite, starting now. Kill the weak version of yourself by starving distractions. That version of you. The lazy one, the undisciplined one, the excuse-making, comfort-chasing version, doesn't deserve to survive. And the only way to kill it is to stop feeding it. Distractions are its fuel. Every time you scroll mindlessly, you're feeding it. Every time you waste an hour on nonsense, you're giving it strength. Every time you choose comfort over discipline, it grows. And the stronger that weak version gets, the weaker your real potential becomes. You can't serve both. You can't build a strong, focused, relentless version of yourself while constantly giving in to distractions. You have to choose the phone that pulls you in every 5 minutes. It's not harmless. It's the leash around your neck. The endless entertainment, the gossip, the cheap dopamine, those are the chains. Chains that keep you average, chains that keep you small. You say you want greatness, but you live like you're fine with mediocrity, because the strong version of you is hungry for focus, clarity, and purpose. But it's starving because you keep feeding the wrong one. You keep feeding the weaker version with noise, with comfort, with temporary pleasure, and it's killing your progress. It's time to reverse that. It's time to go dark on distractions. Turn off the notifications. Put the phone down. Walk away from the nonsense. Silence the noise. Every second you stay focused, the weak version inside you loses power. Every time you resist the urge to scroll, it shrinks. Every time you choose action over amusement, it fades, and eventually it dies. That's how you kill it. Not with words, not with motivation, but with discipline. With starvation, you don't become strong by wishing for it. You become strong by removing what weakens you. Distractions are comfort in disguise. They're escape routes dressed as entertainment. They promise relief, but they deliver regret. Because while you're lost in them, someone else is building. Someone else is grinding. Someone else is gaining ground. And that should bother you. It should wake you up. Because the only difference between where you are and where you could be is how often you choose focus over distraction. That's it. The people you look up to, they're not superhuman. They're just better at starving the weak version of themselves. They don't negotiate with it. They kill it. Day by day, choice by choice. You have that same power. You just have to stop feeding what's killing your potential. The weak version of you can't survive without distraction, so starve it. And feed the one that's ready to rise. Your next decision determines your future. Make it count. Not tomorrow, not next week, the next one, right now. That small choice you're about to make, the one you think doesn't matter, that's the one shaping your life. Because success isn't built in giant leaps. It's built in the tiny, quiet, unseen moments when no one's watching. The moments when you choose discipline over distraction, action over comfort, commitment over excuses. Every time you choose to push instead of pause, you're carving a new path, a path that leads to the life you say you want. But every time you choose to wait, to delay, to give in, you're reinforcing the life you're trying to escape. You don't drift into greatness. You decide your way into it, one choice at a time. Your next workout, it matters. That next meal, it matters. The next hour of focus or procrastination, it matters more than you think. Your future isn't some distant event waiting to show up one day. It's being built right now, brick by what you do next. Not by what you say you'll do, but by what you actually do. People love to dream big, talk loud, and plan endlessly. But what separates winners from the rest is execution in the moment. That's where the game is won or lost. Right here, right now. Your next decision might look small, but it carries weight, because it's a vote for the person you're becoming. You can vote for the weaker version, the one who delays, complains, escapes, or you can vote for the stronger version, the one who shows up, steps up, and levels up. No one's coming to choose for you. No one's going to carry you there. This is your move, and it always has been. That decision you've been putting off, that habit you've been avoiding, that conversation you've been dodging. Do it now, not perfectly, not fearlessly, just honestly. Because the longer you wait, the heavier it gets, and the heavier it gets, the harder it is to move. So move now, even if it's messy, even if it's scary, even if it's just a single step, because momentum starts with one decision. Progress starts with one moment of courage. Your next move is a seed. Plant the right one, and it'll grow into everything you've been chasing. Plant the wrong one, and it'll grow into regret. Make it count. So now the choice is yours. You can walk away from this and go back to the same patterns, the same delays, the same distractions, or you can decide right here, right now, that you're done wasting potential. That you're done waiting for motivation, for perfect timing, for someone to push you, because no one's coming, it's on you. You've heard the truth, you've felt the fire, now it's time to act. No more excuses. No more stalling, no more maybe later. This is your moment. Own it, move, decide, and don't look back, because the life you want, it doesn't respond to words, it responds to action. So show the world and yourself what happens when you stop talking and start doing.